My Little Scythe is a take on its older sibling. In the game, each team will choose from a number of seekers. There is 2 seekers on each team. This little fella is called Ralphio, according to me. No reason, just like the name. Then you'll take the setup tile, place it in the middle and spin it round before flipping it and putting out the resources on the starting camps as shown. Resources work slightly differently in My Little Scythe to its older sibling. If you select a seek action, you will take the shown dice and roll them. The colours on the dice indicate which areas or regions you must put those resources into. For example, here I rolled 2 apple dice, 1 diamond and 1 quest dice. And if I put resources into a hex with another player's figure in or another player's seeker in, I will gain friendship bonuses for that. So here are the resources. I have to put the diamond in grey, so I pop it on my opponent's figure and get a friendship point. I also have a grey apple, so again pop it on there, friendship for me. The other apple is yellow, which is underneath the player board helpfully, and then blue. Pie fights are the offensive option in My Little Scythe. Here I move 2 figures into an opponent's hex. Now they will engage in a pie fight. You are limited by your pies on the side there and you must choose how many to use. But you can also use magic spell cards for each seeker in the fight that you have. So here I could have used 2, but I use 1. My opponent only has 5 pies, so should be a guaranteed victory. There we go. Some unnecessary usage of pies there. The player board works similarly to Scythe. Each turn you move your pawn to another section on the board, so I can't choose a seek action twice. Both move and make may be upgraded during the game, and this gives you more efficient options. The trophies themselves are awarded for 8 friendship, 2 upgrades, 3 magic spells, 2 quests, which are this version's encounters, just showing you can all earn objectives there, 8 pies, winning a pie fight, and delivering the apples or gems to the castle. My Little Scythe was a pleasant surprise for me. I had heard all the hype and the story behind the game, and that was really it's a really cool story about the guy who designed it with his daughter so that she could play the game with her friends and get them used to the kind of more complicated mechanics of Scythe. But I was worried, like a lot of family games, that it wouldn't hold my attention perhaps as much as it held my son's attention. Happily, this is a game that is great for families. It will hold the attention of the adults. It doesn't outstay its welcome. The race to 4 trophies is reasonably speedy. You can sort of go after a few at once. There are ones, just like in Scythe, that you can kind of obtain as an afterthought, building up your tracks, getting into a pie fight and winning, that sort of thing. So it plays really well. It maintains the kind of feel of Scythe, whilst feeling like something different as well. One of the things I love about My Little Scythe is that they haven't skimped just because this is a children's or family game. The price is phenomenal for the quality of miniatures, insert and components that you're getting. This is not a game that I've played with my game group, and I don't imagine it'd be one I play often with my game group. I might play it with newcomers as a kind of gateway game, so this is one I play with a family, you might quite like it, and I think you could have a lot of fun. I think I would play it with my game group occasionally, but I think that's going to completely change the feel of the game, and rather than this kind of nice little jaunt through the kingdom having pie fights, it's going to be a vicious fight over resources and trying to stop other people win the races. If I had one slight issue with the game, and it's one that's a really weird one to be honest, it would be that it is very easy to draw in this game, and then you have the joint thing of explaining to little children about tiebreakers if you want to bother,
or, you know, sharing the win, which is great if everyone won. But when you're playing with a larger group of kids, invariably there's going to be one or two who don't reach the 4 trophies as quickly as everyone else. So that means rather than having the problem of one winner who's lording it over everyone, you have this issue of a minority of losers. And that really depends on the children who are playing. But it's just an odd one that's kind of crept in a couple of games that we played where just wasn't something I was expecting, because mostly, you know, you kind of playing games for the competition or or whatever. There's usually one winner. So with this having a lot of tie situations, it's just a bit unusual. Now, of course, that begs the question: what do you play games for? And I love the fact that this is a competitive but vicious competitive game that I can play with my family and not worry about who wins, because everyone's going to be there or thereabouts. And when I play with my family, it's just the 3 of us, so usually my son does all right, or, you know, comes in the top people. So yeah, but just an odd one to be aware of if you have a large family. Other than that, it's hard to fault My Little Scythe. The hex system works really well. I think the resource gathering being put onto dice instead of having to set up farms and stuff or have a farmer there works really well, and it just ties into that friendship system where you can place resources on other people to bump your friendship up, which will hopefully get you a trophy. The rules are fairly straightforward. There's a few niggly little ones that are kind of a hang-up from Scythe, I guess. Things not massive, but like you can only win 1 trophy per round until the last round. But there's going to be times where you could easily take 2 trophies in a round, if not more, by achieving various things. I mean, you could easily house rule it that way. It would probably mean there's less draws, but that's up to you. Another thing you can do is change the 4 trophies winning condition to 5 or 6 to make it a longer game, and that's easily done as well. At the end of the day, My Little Scythe is a game that I will keep in my collection. I will play with my family. I will play when kids come round. And yes, there is more of a learning curve in it than other family games that are more basic in terms of what they're asking you to do. There's usually only one thing you have to grasp. In My Little Scythe, there's a couple of things you have to grasp: action selection, movement across the board, resource collection, resource delivering. So there's a load of things in here, but having that simplified player board that you can upgrade really helps break everything down. So, intimidation factor. For a gamer, there's no intimidation here. For a family that are going to sit down and play this, it really depends on how much experience in games there are in the room. If they're coming from kind of mainstream family games or mass market family games, then this will have a little bit more intimidation. There is so much in the box. There's an achievement sheet, a autonomer. You can play this solo and it's got its own deck. Even the way it's boxed up is kind of intimidating to a family who are used to opening Monopoly or whatever, because it's done so well. But generally, you know, it's going to be a pleasant surprise rather than anything too hard. The rulebook is done very well. It's not long. Like I say, there are a few niggly little things, but ultimately the game is set up so you just play it and things make sense. Will I keep it in my collection? Yes, this will be kept in my collection. This will be kept in my collection because it is a great family game. It is one that I can get out when my son's friends are around. They get to play with miniatures, they get to play with resources that are properly plastic, not just cubes. It is fantastic from that point of view. Thanks very much for watching Board Deck and Dice. We will see you next time.